At the T-minus 3-minute mark, tape recorders on board the spacecraft were turned on. These recorders record both voice and data. We have ignition sequence. The engine's now building up to 7.7 million pounds of thrust. We have a launch commit and we have a liftoff. Moving back. Saturn V lifting off.
MMLP operating out of Burlington, Vermont. 105.9 The Radiator. We're back. I'm your host this evening, Tom Proctor, and with me now is Rick Palieri. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Tom?
I'm pretty well.
It's great to be here, you know, and it's really kind of so interesting when you come into this room because it takes you away. It's a whole different kind of experience, and it goes along with my mantra these days of create what you want where you are. Instead of always traveling and looking for something special, create it right in your own home. And that's what you folks have done for so long in a big, heavy world, is make this your own reality. And so it's always fun to be here and present some of my folky stuff.
I love it. And I know exactly what you mean. We've been in many different places while I've been here. And every single one of them has, even though we have geographically changed places, every one of them has got the same vibes and the same spirit.
Yeah. It definitely does. I mean, I walked in here and I knew where I was because, you know, all the other times that I've been, and it's been many times now that I've been on this radio station. For a while, I was a DJ here. Did you know that?
I actually didn't know that, Rick.
Yeah, I did that for a while. I think we did a year with my friend Ben Bergstein, and we did a show here. And it was fun. It was fun. It was a little hard for me because I was traveling so much, and you had to do the show live.
Right. It's one of Jim's rules there. But Rick, I would love to hear what you've got to play for us. I hear you're starting us out with a live unplugged banjo song.
Well, you know, it was just a few weeks ago that I brought Woody Guthrie's daughter, Nora Guthrie, here, and she did a wonderful concert over at the North End studio. And I interviewed her for my TV show, The Songwriter's Notebook. And we were talking about Woody Guthrie and his impact that he's had on musicians, like Wilco, you know, the Billy Bragg, so many people, because he was talking about things, you know, just like, you know, the fellows who were just in playing the punk music and kind of letting their feelings come out, not worrying about whether it was commercial or not, but playing a song because it had something to say. And that's what Woody did. And this song, when you think about the words, even though it was written back, in about the 1940s, it could be written today. Just go to the border. Go to the border over in Texas. Well, I ain't got no home. I'm just a rambling around. I'm just a wandering worker. I go to town. Police make it hard wherever I may go. No, I ain't got no home in this world anymore. I was living on the shares, and I was always poor. My crops I did lay upon my banker's door. My wife up and died upon my cabin floor. And I ain't got no home in this world anymore. I ain't got no home. I'm just a rambling around. I'm just a wandering worker. I go from town to town. Police make it hard wherever I may go. No, I ain't got no home in this world anymore. My brothers and my sisters are traveling on that road. It's a hard and dusty road where 1,000,000 feet have trod. My banker took my home, Lord. He kicked me from my door. No, I ain't got no home in this world anymore. You know, I've traveled around this country, and it's mighty plain to see. This wide, wicked world, it's a funny old place to be. The gambling man is rich, while the working man is poor. And I ain't got no home in this world anymore. I ain't got no home, I'm just a rambling around. I'm just a wandering worker. I go from town to town. Well, police make it hard wherever I may go. And I ain't got no home in this world anymore. Tom, you think about all those children that are in those migrant camps down there, right on the border. They don't have any home anymore. They left their home. And that's what this kind of music has always been about, Tom. It's always been telling that story that needs to be told. And I think more than ever, when you look around at this crazy world, you know, people aren't saying what needs to be said. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things going on, and people are turning their head and not speaking up. And I think it was people like Woody Guthrie and Pete Seeger and many people, Paul Robeson, Stetson Kennedy, and all these, and the young people that are out there today, you know, who are speaking up, all those kids, you know, from Florida, who really showed everyone what they could do.
Well, not to get too off track, I guess, but to kind of go down that route. A few of the people you're mentioning here are very much of the what we call the golden generation. There's a lot of people that you're also mentioning of millennial generation or Generation Z, whereas the people that don't seem to be speaking up about this seems to be more about the generally the boomer generation. So a lot of the music that we love around here, this folk music that started admittedly in the 1930s but got really big in the 1950s and 60s, those people that were saying those messages 50, 60 years ago, where would you say that this kind of, why are those messages not coming from them now?
Well, I don't really, know. I think that you have to think about the 60s and the 50s as sort of a renaissance of music in general. Such fantastic music came out during that particular time, into the 70s too. Then disco came along.
Hey, can't knock disco around here. I love some disco.
That's good to dance to, But really, I think that a lot of things were being said in the 60s because of the Vietnam War. And there was that was one of the ways that you could talk about how you were feeling. And it went through all the different genres. And I think that, now that there are people writing songs again because they're trying to speak out. But I think that the idea is what I was talking about earlier is create what you want where you live. And that's what we're doing, not this week. I'm doing it this week down at the Clearwater Festival. But the following week, June 21st, we're going to create a kind of, like that story Brigadoon, where the magical place comes to life. Well, that's what we're trying to do right at Kingsland Bay Park. Now, you probably don't know, but years and years ago, that was the home of the Champlain Valley Folk Festival. And every year there were thousands of people who would come there and listen to music, all kinds of wonderful music. And what happens, Tom, is that unfortunately people think, well, I don't know if I'm going to make it this year. I don't know if I can go to this event. I don't know if I can go to that event. And guess what? Those events close, don't they? They don't come to the club shuts down. They didn't come to the festival, and the festival had to shut down.
But you are reviving it for June 21st, or at least in a certain way, and that is in conjunction with Make Music Day Vermont, which is an internationally global inclusive music festival happening in Vermont, Burlington, down in Kingswater Bay?
Kingsland Bay.
Kingsland Bay, thank you.
Yeah.
And thousands of other places around the world. So tell me a little bit about this festival and your involvement in it.
Well, yeah, I did one a couple years ago. Jim Lockridge asked me about doing one, and we did it at Kingsland Bay, but it was on a Thursday, I think, or a Wednesday, so it was hard to actually get a lot of enthusiasm. And we brought a few people over there, and the park really didn't understand what we were trying to accomplish either. And we had a nice time. But now that it's on a Friday and we had a lot of advance notice, I've been, talking with the Kingsland Bay Park director, and she's been very excited about this idea of bringing music back into the park. So it will be a day that will be a very long day for our summer solstice, because we're going to start around noon, and we're going to have little song circles all around the park on front porches. And we'll have them maybe over in the dining hall. And each one will maybe have a different theme. There might be some blues music in one place, and there'll be some maybe acoustic, sing-along kind of things in another place, and maybe some old rock kind of stuff, on another place. All acoustic, but and not amplified. It's very natural, kind of organic feeling that will be taking place. And about these song circles, the idea is that everyone gets a chance to play. No one is excluded. So that if you're in that circle, you have a chance to be heard. You have a chance to sing a song. Or you can say, no, I'm not ready. Let someone else play. But you have that chance. And that's really important to me, to make sure that everyone there will be able to participate. And we're hoping, it's hard to say what the weather's going to be. If we have great weather, you can see people spread out all over the park with picnic baskets and, eating food. And, it's supposed to be, the park is supposed to be free that day so people can come in and enjoy the music. And there will be, hopefully, around 5 o'clock or so, I'm going to try to gather all these circles, smaller circles, into one big, large circle and have this really kind of big sing-along until the sunset.
Oh, beautiful. And you said you've been part of this Make Music Day before, a couple of years ago. What other events do you know that's either you've done before in previous years, apart from the one you mentioned, and what do you know is going on this year as well as the one that you're organising?
Well, I think that they're all over the place. In every every musician had a chance to organize their own event and pick where they wanted to do it. So there are some folks that wanted to come to my event, but they're doing it in their own community, and that's the way it should be. Is that everyone was able to create their own kind of event, and that's what's making it really special. Because we don't really know what it's going to be like. There could be, I'm choosing to do something more in a folky kind of acoustic thing, but there's going to be people, with their amplifiers out and playing in different places. There's going to be, maybe brass bands playing, because it's music. It's not being said that it's folk music or rock music or punk music. It's make music, and that's what we're going to do.
Right, and so who else have you got involved with your particular event, and is it a case of anyone can kind of bring a guitar down and just have at it, or is there certain bands playing at certain times, or is it a mixture of both?
They can just bring their instrument and join the circle.
Oh, right.
and sing a song. I have people, local people like Barry King. See, there's another little group that I've organized in Heinsberg, where I live, called the Song Farmers, who are they get together and they have these kind of jams. So they're going to be helping be the host of these circles to make sure that everybody gets a chance, and make sure that everything runs the way that we want it to be. There's no rules, so to speak, except we just want to make sure that everyone has a chance. And so, and then we have a lot of friends. I have friends coming from New York, mainly because this year, Tom, marks an important anniversary. Our dear mentor, Pete Seeger, would have been 100 years old back on May 4th. So a lot of friends are coming from, we're all playing at the Clearwater Festival in New York, and then they're all coming up here. They're camping out in my yard, and they're going to be here for the whole week, long weekend, playing all kinds of different shows together, honoring Pete. So everything that I'm doing is sort of a thank you to Pete Seeger because he spent a lot of time here in Vermont. He had family here, still does, so this is a nice way for us to be able to celebrate him.
Oh, wonderful! And we were talking a little bit before the show about your new record that you've come out, The Ricks, Steering Pete's Course.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to tell me a little bit about that and maybe introduce one of the songs off it?
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that the CD player will work there.
We got a thumbs up from the production team.
Tom, I'm really excited because this is one of the very first times that it's going to be actually aired, because the official release is this weekend. The CDs just came in. This is just a sample CD that you have here. The real one is waiting for me with my friend Rick, and it's 19 songs, and it is once again. Not only did the people have to know Pete who are in this project, but they had to sail with him on the Clearwater. So everybody who was involved with this project actually sailed on the Hudson River on this sloop Clearwater. And it was a very kind of a special thing. Guy Davis, fantastic blues musician, played harmonica. And we have singers. And we tried to record some songs that were not the songs that everybody knows. Because, there's lots of albums or tribute albums these days where everybody's playing the same songs that Pete did. And we wanted to do something different. We wanted to honor him by playing the maritime songs, the songs of seas and ocean and environmental songs, because that was really important to Pete. And so I picked out 2 songs from this. And do you think we can hear the first one?
Oh, let's give it a go.
We can hope.
We can hope.
This one
Fingers
is
crossed.
Don't Ask What a River Is For. This is a very, very rare song. And the funny instrument that you're hearing me play is a mouth bow.
Okay.
On the Oregon-Idaho border, you can find a big trickling stream. They call her Old Hell's Canyon, but to me she's a beautiful dream.
Come a rick-a-tick-a-tick, bubbling on. Don't ask what a river is for. Come a rick-a-tick-a-tick for a million years. Let's ask for a million more.
Oh, the farmers down around Lewiston, they say what a terrible waste. The water sure could grow good crops, we say don't be in such haste.
Come a rick-a-tick-a-tink, bubbling on. Don't ask what a river is for. Come a rick-a-tick-a-tink for a million years. Let's ask for a million more.
And the power boys over in Idaho say, oh, why, what a terrible waste. We say, take a trip to the Pentagon if you want to do something about waste.
Come a rick-a-tick-a-tink, bubbling on. Don't ask what a river is for. Come a rick-a-tick-a-tink for a million years. Let's ask for a million more.
Come along to the Idaho border, be it black or brown or just tan. Take a trip on the old white water and be glad for a beautiful land.
Come a rick-a-tick-a-tink, bubbling on. Don't ask what a river is for. Come a rick-a-tick-a-tink for a million years. Let's ask for a million more.
Sound that walk, 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 walk is actually it's a piece of wood called a mouth bow that has a string on it, and you hold it up against your mouth, and you're making the sound by changing the the shape of your mouth. It's one of the oldest stringed instruments known. They play them over in Africa, and I learned it from old Jimmy Driftwood, the old Ozark Mountain balladeer, and he learned it from the Cherokee Indians. That's how he learned how to play that mouth bow, and we thought it was kind of fun to put that on there. So that's a kind of a song that you don't hear very often, and it was really hard to track it down because he only recorded it once, and he gave the rights away to somebody who was trying to save the river out in Idaho. And that's the way this whole project has been, with trying to track down some of these unusual songs. Do we have time for another one?
I think we may, yes.
This one is really special because it's about the whale. It's called The Song of the World's Last Whale. And when you listen to the words, like I said, even though it was written a long time ago, it could be in the headlines tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the song of the world's last whale as I rock in the moonlight and I reef the sail. It'll happen to you without fail. If it happens to me, sang the world's last whale. It was down in Bermuda in the early spring, near the underwater mountain where the humpbacks sing. I lowered my microphone a quarter mile down, switched on the recorder, let the tape spin round. I didn't hear the grunting, I didn't hear the squeaks, I didn't hear the bellows, I didn't hear the shrieks. It was a musical singing and a passionate wail that came from the heart of the world's last whale.
Down in the Antarctic, the harpoons wait, but it's up on the land they decide my fate. In London town, they'll be telling the tale, if it's life or death for the world's last whale. So here's a little test, see how you feel. Here's a little test for the age of the automobile. If we can save our singers in the sea, perhaps there's a chance to save you and me. I heard the song of the world's last whale as I rocked in the moonlight and I reefed the sail. It'll happen to you without fail. If it happens to me, sang the world's last whale. It'll happen to you without fail. If it happens to me, sang the world's last whale.
All right, the Song of the Last Whale there, and another song that was first envisioned on Pete's boat.
Well, I think he wrote it, back, I'm not sure, it was in the 70s or so. But it was one of those songs that he only recorded once, and it wasn't, he recorded it later in life, so it was kind of, didn't really have much of a melody. So I put this more of kind of a mountain sound to it with the banjo, and it gave it a different feeling. And that's what we were trying to do, Tom. We were trying to bring new life into some of these songs that hadn't been heard much and give them a chance to be heard by a new generation of people. And we just played, Rick and I, my friend Rick Nessler, we just played at the Mystic Seaport Festival over in Mystic, Connecticut, and it was really great. People really enjoyed it. And, you know, I think that's, I knew Pete for about 40 years and worked with him on and off on all kinds of projects. And so this is a real personal thing that was not an easy thing to do, Tom, because when he died, he was one of those performers. You might have a performer that touched you in a way that was something special. You might have seen him at a concert or just experienced something where they made a place for themselves in you. They almost like lived with you. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And that happened with a lot of people with Pete Seeger. And when he passed away at the age of, he was 94, it was like there was a hole left in their heart where they felt like, oh, something's missing. And they were hurting. And it was our job, those of us who knew Pete, to go out and try to fill that hole by singing the songs and let people know that people are going to keep singing and things are going to continue on. But it was not easy to do that. And we couldn't, Rick or I, we could not even think of recording anything back when he first passed away.
And of course, you are doing a great tribute to him in Burlington at the Black Box Theatre, and I think we've just got about enough time to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, this is Jason Baker, who helps me out. I have a little radio show called Folk Talk, on WBTV LP. And Jason's been helping me out over there, and he wanted to organize something right here in Burlington. So he went to the Black Box Theater, and this is a benefit for the sloop Clearwater, the big environmental sloop. And a interview that I did with Pete, a video, 28-minute video, will be shown before the concert, so people get a chance to listen to Pete talk and see all these archival photos of how the sloop Clearwater was built. Because something really cool is going to happen. There's going to be like an environmental Clearwater group that's going to be starting right here in Burlington, right on Lake Champlain, that it's going to try to help clean up Lake Champlain. So that's one of the kind of things that have come from getting everybody together. And we're going to be launching that on the 20th, right before all this other madness. We'll have a boat right out on the dock, and they'll be taking people, we'll be doing a little publicity kind of thing, and then there's going to be some boat rides out there and try to get people to look at the Lake Champlain, look how dirty it is, and what do we have to do to help clean it up? That's how it all starts.
Wonderful. Well, I'm glad that Pete is leaving a legacy which has sown 1,000 seeds that have blossomed into plants and flowers that, hopefully going to heal the world a little bit.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. And Rick, always a pleasure having you on. And, just give us another shout whenever you want to come back in again. We always love hearing from you.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night. Next week, we have got on a couple of people that I don't have up right now, but I'm sure that they're going to be fantastic.
Free Band is one of them, and the other one is lost in my memory.
Robin
Not the band name, but it should be.
Robin Godfrey Band is coming on next week, so catch us then. Until that moment, I'll bid you good night. This has been Tom Proctor and The Rocket Shop. Adios.